Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy, CIZZY, and I'm feeling a little down right now. I'm feeling a little down because I forgot my sweatpants and my hoodie at the gym, in which I was supposed to be wearing right now, so that after this podcast, I could go out into this frigid weather and get my 45-minute walk in. But instead, I got to delay it for 2.5 hours, do it later in the evening, and go up my sleep. And I'm a little motherfucking angry. Just kidding. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, totally not kidding. We are at Leo Moreno Jr. Boxing Club, Overland Park, Kansas. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, super lit, super excited because I actually get to talk to somebody this week. Last week, if you were paying attention to the Voices of Value podcast, which you probably weren't because I only got like 2 views, you saw that I did a solo virtual episode, and this week we are back with my favorite person to talk to because we can just talk about random shit. And I find it to be interesting. And then he's smart, so then I can just like keep asking him questions and shit to talk when I wanna take a break. So, anyways, y'all know what the vibes are. Before we move forward today, leave a 5-star review, press share, subscribe, follow, all the good shit to help us grow. And with that being said, introducing our guest for like the 14th time, Milad Ghasempour. Go ahead and say what's up to the folks.
What's up, folks? How are we all doing today?
I just wanted to do that folks, kind of like it was like a, like a arena.
Echo.
Let's go. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about a variety of topics. Apple Vision Pro, Kansas City Chiefs Parade. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about OpenAI. We're going to talk about Zuck being a hater. We're going to talk about Yao Ming. We're going to talk about a lot of things, but let's start off with Yao Ming. Let's start off Yao Ming, Shaquille O'Neal, Wemby, however the hell you say his last name. All of these NBA players are above 7 foot. They hover around that 7'2", 7'3" range. And you know how over the past like 5 to 10 years, we've been in like a season of cancellation, a season of like, that's discriminatory, a season of I'm a victim, a season of... Don't get me wrong, sometimes it's valid. Sometimes people need to be canceled. They definitely say some crazy racist shit and they need to be taken off the TV, taken out of the money. Something needs to happen, some punishment. There has to be a punishment. Freedom of speech to an extent, but we ain't out here trying to talk crazy about people. But in the name of everybody canceling everybody, I was wondering, should garage companies be canceled? Now you might be like, why? So I was driving through a garage the other day, and you know how they have those little drop-down panels that say, like, the height limit to, like, enter into a parking garage, and it says, like, whatever the height is? So I seen the shortest one of all time. It was 6'10". Now, I've seen 7'3" before. I've seen 7 foot before, and I've always wondered, well, why do they have a height limit that a person can't even get under? Now, sure, the average human being is not 7'2". The average human being is not 6'11", but I think it's a little disrespectful that they have the height set to like 7'1", and we got people like Shaquille O'Neal, Yao Ming, Wemby, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who can't even get in these parking garages. And I was just wondering, Milad, if you think that parking garage companies or the companies who run these parking garages should be canceled.
Collis, how tall are you?
I am 6'3".
Do you know what percentile of height that you're in by chance?
Shit, I don't know, probably 50% of America the same height as me.
You look 1 out of every 2 people in this country at eye level? Is what you're telling me right now?
I like to see eye to eye with everybody.
I'm looking at Mark's fucking grin right now.
I like to see eye to eye with everybody.
That's not what I'm... Physically, you don't have to look down at people.
Nah, I'll be looking down at everybody.
Yeah, you're in the top 1%. You look at 1 in 100 people, you were looking straight in the eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? I'm a 1%er. I'm a 1%er. I didn't go to the league, but I'm a 1%er. I make less than $50,000 a year, but I'm a 1%er. I'm a 1%er, baby.
You get to like 6'6", it's like 0.5%. So, and okay, it's a parking garage.
So that's why they don't. So that's why they
disrespect.
disrespect black people in America, because we only like 10% of the population.
You threw Yao Ming in there. He's Chinese. Okay,
You ain't lying.
this in a race thing.
All right.
It's heightism.
Heightism, okay.
Again, nobody's really talking shit on people.
I have a question though. Like, can people discriminate against height for a job that requires you to like reach a box that's like 6'5" of height? Probably not, because they have, what are they called? Ladders nowadays. Yeah, you're right. Because I definitely seen like a 4'8" girl named like Leela at Home Depot on like the 37th rack up there on the ladder, just pulling some shit down.
She got a ladder on her ladder.
A ladder on her ladder is crazy, because they really do have those. They're extendo clips. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, now you guys are probably wondering, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, I just felt like that was a question that was worthwhile to get you thinking today. Now, on a more serious note, let's first start off with the positive vibes. I talked about it last week. Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champions, once again.
Back to back.
Yeah. 2-peat doesn't sound sexy to say, but 3-peat, which is going to happen next year, sounds amazing to say. Okay, it sounds absolutely amazing. After a rough season, the Kansas City Chiefs pulled it together in the last 3 games. What was it? So we had the playoff, the game to get into the playoffs, or I don't know, what was it, a wild card game? When we played Miami, was that a wild card game?
Yeah.
So we whooped some ass against Miami. I mean, we didn't whoop their ass, but we beat them. You know, put a little. We had a luxurious need to put Tyreek Hill on his knees. Pause. And it was mic'd up. So go watch that clip, just in case you guys were wondering if we missed Tyreek Hill. We don't. And then after we took the dub there, we went ahead and slid down the street, and we was like, you know what? Let's go say hello to Buffalo. Had to make sure I said that the correct way. We slid down the street, went up north, cold day, frigid weathers. Shout out to Buffalo fans for plowing by hand the entire stadium for what, $20 an hour? I was wondering how they did that. Like, first off, you had to stand in line for probably a few hours to even get the opportunity to help clean the stadium, just so you could put your name, direct deposit. I wonder how they did that. Do you think they like filled out a W-2 or like a 1099 form and then like a direct deposit form or something?
Probably not. They probably did, because it's not enough money.
But how do you think they did it? Cash app to everybody?
Could be a cash app. Could be like prepaid cards.
Prepaid cards. That's exactly what they did.
Like that.
They probably did prepaid cards for sure. Anyways, shout out to them. We slid through there. Fans did a lot of work for what? Nothing, because they ass lost. And we took a dub there. And then we were like, oh no, we gotta play Lamar. He's gonna run all over us. They're gonna dog us out. ODB, he might catch a touchdown. ODB ain't nothing. The only ODB we care about here is the official ODB. Who's Odell Beckham? Throw him away. Nothing. No competition to the Kansas City Chiefs. Lamar Jackson, he a cold piece. We ain't gonna lie.
He MVP.
He MVP.
He had a good season.
But guess what?
He had a good season.
He didn't have a good game towards us.
He didn't have a good postseason.
He didn't do nothing towards us. So, we went ahead and crip walked over their foreheads. And then after that, Super Bowl. And they was like, we're not sure. They've had a tough season. I was like, why are you guys even talking about our tough season after we just beat 3 people in a row in the playoffs and showed we here to play? But they wanted to keep talking. They doubted us. They underestimated the powers of the Mahomes. They underestimated the power of the Kelsey. They underestimated the power of our defense. And guess what we did? We won the Super Bowl for the 2nd year in a row. That is Patrick Mahomes' 3rd Super Bowl championship, 4th Super Bowl attendance in just 6 seasons.
It's been a good 5 years.
He's a dog. And all his stats compared to Tom Brady are better in his first 6 seasons. Now, does he have to hold up that same energy the next 6 years, the next 10 years, next 15 years? Yes, he sure does, because Brady stayed along for a while. But anyways, I'm done talking about the Chiefs. Y'all came here to talk about business. So, damn, I did all that to skip over something really important. I'm going to let you handle this part because, as you can see, I'm struggling to get to the point of what I was going to talk about, which is the parade. The parade this year, I skipped it. Now, the past 2 years that we won the Super Bowl, I've gone to the Super Bowl parade. Crowded, extremely busy, claustrophobia to the maximum. First off, I don't have claustrophobia. I don't get mad when people bump into me. I don't get mad when drunk people breathe and spit on me. I just am a little uncomfortable. And, this year, I didn't want to be uncomfortable. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go. I'm not trying to save kids from getting, tumbled over by grown men brawling in the middle like last year. I was moving kids left and right here. Go sit next to your mama. Oh, you can't because there's too many people to get you to your mama. How did you get all the way over here? It's a lot. And this year, something unfortunate happened. Total of 22 people, I believe, were shot, 11 being children. They did survive. One person passed away by the name of, remind me, Lisa Lopez, Mark? I just want to make sure I say her name correctly. So rest in peace to Lisa Lopez, as well as, the family that's going to have to, family and friends, but the family that's going to have to deal with the, emotional and mental repercussions of losing a family member for not only, the next few weeks, but for life. So, condolences to the family. Rest in peace to Lisa. I heard nothing but good things about her, about the work she was doing here in Kansas City. And, for everyone else who, might have survived, but also is completely traumatized from an experience that was supposed to be fun, celebratory. Those children were there because the parents, at the end of the day, wanted their kids to experience something that may never happen again. Now, of course, I did all the shit talking. I want Super Bowl championships keep rolling through Kansas City, but at the end of the day, there is no guarantee. This 2 times back-to-back has only happened one other time in the past 20 years, and that was the Patriots. So that shows you how unlikely it is that we win a third one in a row. Could we? Yes. But the whole point being, they came out there to have fun. They came out there to celebrate their hometown team, and they left traumatized and injured. And they didn't talk about the extent of how injured they are, these children, but it could go from who knows how injured they are. Let's just say that. But regardless, they're definitely mentally scarred, and I don't wish that upon anybody else. So I just wanted to say rest in peace to Lisa. I wanted to send my condolences to the families who were injured and affected by this, and for everyone who was in attendance and nearby the gunshots, and had to hide in bathrooms or hide under staircases or sprint to your car, or maybe you were a part of some of the mini stampedes that happened throughout the area once the gunshots were heard. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm sure it was a traumatic experience. There's a lot of companies here in Kansas City in the counseling space that are offering free therapy to the community. One of our past guests being one of them. So I'm sorry, Caleb, if I don't get your last name right, but Adegoke. So Adegoke, I think is how you spell it. So Adegoke, I believe. Caleb. Either way, go check that episode out and you'll be able to find his social information. I believe he is collaborating with some local businesses to do some free therapy sessions, and there's plenty of other counseling centers that are doing the same thing. So just make sure, if you feel like you need help or you feel like you don't need help, either way, take advantage of those services. It will probably be a tough road ahead. So anything else that you'd like to say on that before we move forward?
Just rest in peace, Lisa, and stay safe, everybody. It was two juveniles, just being reckless and stupid, and unfortunately, a lot of people were harmed over nothing. It's just not worth it. Nothing in a moment of celebration is worth that type of violence and that type of
absolute stupidity. I mean, it sucks that it's our youth, but it would have sucked regardless of whoever it was. But it definitely sucks that it's our youth in this situation. It definitely sucks that it has to be, a bad look on Kansas City, who already has a bad look from a gun violence standpoint. Missouri in general as a state, I think, is up there top 5, 6 in terms of gun violence per 100,000 populations or something like that. Kansas City, unfortunately, always showing up in the top 10 compared to populations with similar cities with similar populations. I don't know what the answer is when it comes to gun violence. I'm sure it starts with some sort of stricter regulations around just guns in general. What I would encourage everybody to do, at the very least, is go look up gun violence in America versus any other country in the world, and just look at the massive differences in terms of the percentage of gun violence that happens here in America, as well as deaths that happen from gun violence here in America compared to any other country. Just go take a look at that. And if you really don't think there's an issue, sure, but just go take a look at that. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, rest in peace, Lisa. Maybe we can put in the link, we can put in the description, if the GoFundMe is still up, an opportunity for you guys to extend a helping hand to your local community members. All right. So let's talk about OpenAI, text to video, Sora. So you break it down, and then I got some thoughts on this in terms of I'm excited. I think it's pretty cool. I think there's going to be movies made from 100% AI in the very, very near future, if not already, that I'm just not aware of. So break down Sora and this text to video platform inside of OpenAI.
Yeah, so OpenAI rolled out a new product. OpenAI is the creators of ChatGPT. They also have another product that you might be familiar with, which is now kind of integrated with ChatGPT, called DALL-E, and that is text to image. Mm-hmm. So you can give it a prompt and it'll create some sort of AI generated image for you. Great for stock photos, great for, little art pieces that you need that aren't too detailed. Don't try and put text on it. It'll screw that up pretty much every time. We're not there yet, but they are working on video, so text to video. So you can give it a prompt, and instead of just an image, you'll get an entire up to 60 seconds video. So very simple to just describe what scene that you're trying to create, and it'll bring that to life for you. It does a great job. I saw some examples that they're releasing, which are going to be, actually, they're only releasing it to a select handful of users because they know its potential and they want to keep this very regulated. So they did have some examples of actual human figures that turned out really well. I didn't see any 9 fingers on one hand or 4 eyes or anything like that. It was really well done, and I was impressed with the examples that they gave, and a lot of potential. Huge year for AI. It's only February, and we're leaps ahead of where we were last year.
Yo, you know what is crazy? I think that by the end of 2024, there's going to be more than 10 TikTok accounts, Instagram accounts, Facebook pages, or let's just say group. I don't know. I guess it's a page or accounts that have upwards of 1 to 2 million followers, strictly from somebody creating text to video, AI generated content in which they do voiceovers or plug those motivational voices or quotes into the back of the text to video image, and they're just going to run that out the water. So you guys know how CapCut, everyone's familiar with CapCut at this point. It's absolutely blown up, taken over the entire TikTok and Instagram world, especially lifestyle and fitness content. Those two genres, all creators in those two genres use CapCut and use the pre-templated motivational messages that are 5 seconds, and all you do is input your clips, and then it'll be clip, and it'll be I woke up in the morning, ashes, fire, death, my spirit arose. It's
conquered the day.
It's just crazy shit, or just your typical David Goggins or Joe Rogan motivational message, or what's his name? Extreme accountability. What's his name? Jocko Willink.
Jocko, yeah.
So I think there's just going to be a huge amount of content that comes out with that similar style, but the background video is generated by like text to video. Because that's the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, okay, what I used to do, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've deleted these videos, but I had like a whole bunch of motivational, what would you say, quotes, or but they weren't quotes that I took from other people. Long story short, I would go into my notes and just like write a reflection from the day, and I'd always make sure it's like inspirational and motivational. And then I took those and I would read them into a voice memo, and then take that voice memo and put it behind stock video I pulled from the internet of like, the sun rising and people walking through a city, and it would just be my voice, and it'd be like, this is your first day waking up in a new you, whatever. And it would just be like stock video. So I was just like, I would just start running that back again. I would just be like text to video. I'd be like, create a 60-second video of fish running from a shark, but then becoming friends with the shark or whatever. And then I'm like, life is all about running from the shark, but then you realize it is not your pain. You know what I'm saying? And just putting some copy over it. So I'm excited to use it for that. And I think people are going to start using it for that as soon as they launch that to full scale. Everybody has access.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
What do you think are some other use cases for text to video?
Well, you have right now, I don't know if it's OpenAI or another tool, but you can it'll animate images. So you can kind of get some movement out of something. So that was what a lot of people were doing. They would take like, 10 of those. So they'd create the 10 different images, have them move for like 3 seconds. You got 10 of those, boom, 30-second video. So like still, something that's currently being done. But yeah, I mean, the use cases for that are incredible. You can get like stuff that would take you like just hours to do in like, animation software down to like seconds. And it's like, that's good enough. Like we can just cut the bad stuff. And like, I'm sure if you have that ability to like actually create that stuff from scratch, it's going to be very easy to edit that stuff and kind of tweak it to what you want it to be. It's just a matter of if they give you, I guess, the file type to be able to do that. But yeah, a whole movie being made out of that. I could see like entire like TikTok series being made out of that. Like you could just do a whole skit, like just based off of like your own character.
It's literally just the script, and then you like you finesse the copy of the script to tell the AI how to turn this into video. Because at the end of the day, you still got to finesse how you're talking to the AI. Because you can't just you're not going to be able to just put a script from a movie and expect it to create the movie. It's not going to work like that. You still have to be you got to tell it what to do. Yeah, exactly. But
if you could even put like your own image in there, like you create some proprietary artwork and put it in there, and it's like, okay, animate this. These are the characters. These are some scenes that I want you to like put the character in. This is what we're talking about in that scene. That's what's going on. Like, boom, the whole thing's animated. You've got 30 seconds of monologue that you can throw on top of it. You do that 10 times, like you got a movie.
I'm telling you, man, like the young, I mean, it's not only for the young kids. I mean, you could be 50 and learn some new shit. But I'm going to just say, to the young bulls out there who got plenty of time on your hands, you work, 15 hours a week at, Chick-fil-A or something. Get your money, hustle, but bruh. Stay up to date about this, because if you learn how to master text to video in that specific niche, and then you utilize that to create many animations and become really good, like the go-to in class, because you spend the next 365 days focused on that, and then you literally just go out here and like cold DM, cold message, create free content in that niche or in that lane for all the YouTubers out there, bro. You know how many YouTubers like have to hire animators to like create some cool animations inside of their videos? I've been seeing a lot of animated content inside of videos. Like I was watching Casey Neistat video yesterday, and like he was having little animations. Like this is me at 34, but it was like a drawing and like, a little animated image, but it wasn't actually him. You get what I'm saying? Like more of like a, little, I don't know, a moving animation. I was like, if you can use AI to create something like that for YouTubers, that's just one lane. I mean, there's plenty of other lanes, or companies who love to use animations to talk about how we follow rules around the office or whatever it is. I'm just saying, man, AI is the area, if you're like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, trying to decide what you want to do, to like just spend the next 365 days focused on developing a skill in that area. Like, right now, I don't think you should focus on like learning how to create prompts or help people learn how to use ChatGPT. I think you're already behind there, but these technologies are going to keep rolling out. So something like this,
huge opportunity.
Huge opportunity. And then guess what? In about 5 weeks, they're going to roll out another piece of technology inside of OpenAI or Google, what is it? Gemini, which we'll talk about next. Like they're just going to keep rolling things out all year long. So if you stay up to date on things that pop out right now, not things that popped out in 2021, aka ChatGPT, then like you good. Just stay up on game. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about Google Gemini. What is Google Gemini? I know that you were trying to tell me pre-episode about tokens and token context length, and I didn't understand what the hell you were talking about. So let's first start off with what is Google Gemini, and once we talk about what Google Gemini is, you can kind of break down for dummies what tokens are and how come 1 million tokens is like some massive big deal. So let's talk about what is Google Gemini.
So Gemini is now the name for what was Google Bard.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, oh, I thought I was using Bard. But then I think I saw like 2 days ago, formerly known as Bard.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. So RIP Bard. Now we have Gemini. And now
sounds a lot better. Great branding. Great branding.
Much better name. Much better features. Google was like, we got to be on the scene. So let's just ship something. This is Bard, whatever. And Google's very easy at killing stuff and like rebranding and renaming it. They do it all the time. So Google Gemini is incredible. It is a ChatGPT competitor, but it integrates with like all of your Google applications. So Google Drive, Sheets, Docs, Slides. I think you can even integrate with like Google Meets and stuff, and like have it be like an AI note taker and things like that nature. Super, super useful because everybody's using Google products if you're a Gmail user, and yeah, they're killing it. And it's amazing because it used to be really crappy. Like I would use it, I'm like, yeah, I have ChatGPT Pro. I do not need to be messing around with this. This is just not even worth my time. And now that it's out, they have made some huge advancements that are not seen currently in the GPT space.
Landscape, right?
Yeah. So with ChatGPT, you can put in 128,000 tokens. And a token is just kind of a way that they've structured basically the inputs that you put in. So when you type in like, a sentence, that sentence could have 10 words in it, but that may not necessarily translate to 10 tokens. Like the words a, the, that, they, you, I, them, those, everyday, like very pronouns, things of that nature are not going to be considered like actual tokens. They might, like your dog might be a better token versus just like a, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just a way that the model structures the input and breaks it up in a way that it can translate it into being useful to give you the best output possible.
But GPT has a capacity limit right now of around 130K
input
tokens
capacity.
From an input perspective.
Yes.
Yeah, got you.
So you could give it, like I think you were trying to give it some Paul Graham essay, and it was just like, this is too much. I can't work with this. Mm-hmm. So it's over 128,000
tokens. Right.
Gemini is capable of 1 million tokens input, right? They gave it a movie, this old black and white film, and they were like, hey, find the scene where the character takes a note out of the other guy's pocket, tell us what the note says, and tell us why that's important to the plot. Boom. Just like that. And I even time-stamped it and pulled it directly from the actual movie. So like, yeah, here's the clip of where that happens. This is why it's important to the plot. Here's what the note says. Incredible.
Really, what I want to, like, from what you just said there, what I want to happen is Gemini to launch like a podcast editing software competitor to like Riverside, and then all you do is just remember what you talked about in the show and be like, hey, go pull out the part where I talked to Milad about how to do backflips down the road, and then give me the timestamp for that and clip it.
That disgusting. That would be filthy. Yeah,
it would be filthy.
Oh, just that would make you would kill the whole editing industry.
For real. You'd shut the whole shit down.
Oh yeah. Because all you have to do is remember what you talked about. And
Premiere, goodbye.
yeah,
Opus, goodbye.
goodbye.
Riverside, goodbye. Hey, Google, if y'all end up doing that, just remember I gave you the idea. Continue.
Yeah, so incredible capability. And then you've got all the integrations with just, the Google Cloud, the Google Drive.
So if somebody is like a Google ecosystem guy, right? Like they function primarily in Google, which most people do. I would say a large population of individuals are there, or Outlook. I mean, like the Microsoft family. Yeah. Microsoft family or the Google family of Word documents versus Google Docs, or this versus that. I don't even know of any others. So like, is there anyone else who has like a suite of products that are used on the daily, like Microsoft and Google?
Not really.
I can't think of a single one. I guess you could argue Notion could be slightly.
You could be a weirdo and use like Apple Pages and.
That is fucking weird.
Yeah, you could be.
Hey, yo, Duffy, previous guest, you weird for that. Because she be using Pages. Look, I swear to God, she had like a full breakdown in Pages. She's using Pages. I even went and downloaded Pages just because I saw her using Pages. Oh, yeah. And then I was like, I ain't using no goddamn Pages, and deleted Pages right back off my MacBook. So that is crazy. I guess you could use. You could. That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Duffy.
That shit's not even online at all.
Duffy, you're a weird one. A weird one you are. Anyways, that's crazy. So, Google Gemini, would you say that people who use Google should use Gemini or ChatGPT or both?
I would definitely check it out. I actually haven't gotten the chance to play with it. It's been a busy week.
I feel like I kind of want to like buy it for or pay for it just for a month just to see how well it integrates into everything. Because a lot of times, like some of these little AI integrations that are popping up in all these companies are actually getting on my nerves. LinkedIn now has little AI recommendations to like for like post or like weird hashtag things or like responses. Facebook started doing that, and now you're seeing in like Facebook groups all across the Facebook ecosystem, like people are just writing the exact same shit because AI suggested to them to write that, and so now they're writing that. And people are like wondering like, why is everyone in my group saying this? And it's because they're just clicking whatever the AI recommendation was from Facebook, and I hate it respectfully. So like, I wonder if like it's going to do the same thing, like the Gemini connection to slides. Like, is it going to keep recommending I do this? I'm like, bro, calm down, dog. Get out my face. You know,
honestly,
like,
probably.
Yeah, I feel like, we'll but it's also like the exploration process for these companies. They got to figure out what are your users like. Should there be an easy turn off button? Like, do we need to delete all these things?
This episode is just ship it and then just figure it out.
I mean, shout out to the startup ecosystem. That's what the mindset is for most people.
Ship it. Big companies like Google are doing it. So if Google can
do it, then why can't you
just kill it and rename it Gemini? Why can't you just launch the product and figure it out as you go?
Real talk though, because I've been getting so annoyed with people when they're like, especially when you go to some of these startup events and they're like, I just like, is it gonna ruin everything if I change my name? Bro, you have 4 customers.
No, it's not.
You have 4 customers.
It's not going to ruin anything.
And that's awesome. I'm happy you have 4 customers, but you can literally do whatever the fuck you want with your company right now.
There are no rules.
Yeah, especially not right now.
Just pay your taxes. You'll be all right.
That part. Speaking of that, shout out. You know what? What's her name? I mean, I know her name, but I'm going to have to listen. If y'all need a tax lady, Joy Adams, that's my tax queen. All right. Now, it don't come at a little, cheap penny. But my taxes for my business were looking mighty disgusting this year. And guess what? I still don't want to pay what I got to pay, but I was expecting like $4,000 more. At least the calculations I was coming to were coming around, a little higher. And she cut that like 60% of that down, because of the tax brain she got. Help me out. All right. So if y'all need some help, she calls you, picks up the phone, text responds at you all year long. You don't, we be chatting. She just schedules random call. Oh, you want to jump on a call? Yeah, feel free. Any tax question I have, free, ready to go. Joy Adams, Tax Services, JWA. All right, let me know. If y'all need her, I'm going to plug her. That being said,
let's move on to
pay your taxes.
Yes, pay your taxes. Let's move on to this AI live streaming app I sent you yesterday.
Okay, now this is amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
You break it down. This is amazing, though.
Yeah, so it is basically a experiment that this guy created. It's an app that gives you the ability to fake live streams. So you can go onto a live stream and straight up, it will fake your followers, the people that are on the stream, it interacts with your voice. So it'll like, it knows what you're talking about and will just post comments in the live feed about that. You can set it to however many, viewers that you want. And the video that I saw promoting this was the guy going around and trying to get into parties in Miami. So he's walking around and he goes up to a bouncer. And he's like, "Hey, yo, I got like 25,000 people on this live stream. Say what's up to the people." And he's like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" And everyone in the comments is like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Yo, can I go in?" And the bouncer just like lets him in. And then there's like the guy who like runs the party. He's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Oh, dude, I got like 18,000 people on the live stream. Say what's up." And he's like saying what's up to them. And then he like starts plugging his artwork or whatever like he was going on. Another clip in that video was him at a pool party with girls, and he's like, talking to him like, "Hey, yo, oh, Drake's in the chat. What's up, Drake?" And like Drake actually jumps onto the video,
and he's like, "What you on, Drake?" He's like, "Oh, with those." And then Drake turns the video around. He's like, "Ain't nobody in here." Yo, it's really crazy, to be honest. I've never heard of this person before. What I think is funny is like, he's definitely a specific lane, but I love that he's like smart and in a specific lane. It's always interesting, like the parallels of like different worlds. All right, so when we think top G, we think ignorant, we think rude to women, we think toxic masculinity, we think like douche bro, like these are the things we think, right? But we also think like jacked, tattoos, bumps people in the gym, get off my weights. Like this is what we think when we think like, top G. So this guy who created this product, his name is, I'm not going to say his name yet, but his caption says Top Tech G. So it immediately lets you know the energy he's on, right? Mm-hmm. And like if you're familiar with, Red Pill, Blue Pill Nation online, it immediately lets you know like what world he exists in. And even like he has like shades on and looks like just a bro at like a party. And then like, I mean, the product he created is also like in this lane. Like it's all about clout. Like how do I get clout attention, utilize this clout chasing and attention energy. It's like a tech version of the influencers that go to like fake private jet plane things and like get in a private jet, like fake one or thing, or and pretend rent a Ferrari, that energy, but on the tech side of things. And it's pretty sick. I wonder how he created this. But anyways, apparently really smart. Ethan Kaiser Big Brain. So the company's called Big Brain, and this app is called Parallel Live. Go check him out on TikTok. It's Ethan Kaiser. Some pretty hilarious content and very interesting technology. I'm glad you sent it. I didn't really want to watch it when you sent it, so I was like, hey, just tell me what it is. And
then I told you, and you were like, that's fucking great.
I was like, that's amazing. Like, I'm actually kind of just want to watch this content right now instead of doing this episode. But anyways, continue. Yeah, that's pretty fire. So Parallel Live, fake celebrities come onto your Instagram live and it looks very real. It shows like you got like 100,000 people on your live. It shows you like, your front camera. Comments keep coming in that are relevant to what you're talking about. Yeah. And then like the artist responds to what you're saying, or like whoever the celebrity is like responds. I don't get it. I don't know how it works. Did you look that up at all?
It's basically ChatGPT, but through video. It's just taking whatever you're saying, translating that into tokens, giving that back to a model. Then the model says, okay, let me say this back in Drake's voice or fucking Rihanna's, whoever, right? Like, let me just say that in their voice. And then
what are the regulations on that? That's what I kind of want to know. Like, that's pretty gangsta, but then on the flip side, like, there got to be some.
We're not there yet with the regulations.
Yeah. That'll take a while. I think it's like this.
On regulations, they did regulate AI spam calls. So now, if you didn't opt into anything, nobody can call you using AI. So that's good. If you opt, we've seen the sales calls. The big one is I think it's Air AI, and they do like the Tesla sales call. So like if you're calling Tesla, that's legal, but nobody can call you up and just like try and spam you into something using an AI voice model or whatever.
Yeah, some of that shit is crazy. You've been seeing like some of the scams on old people when they pretend like they're your son. Oh, dad, I'm in danger. Like I crashed my vehicle. Like people are getting hit for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah. I was like, damn, like I guess people really are gullible, but maybe it's really that good. Like, I don't know. I guess it's.
Well, anyway, Parallel Live is like $36 for the year or whatever. So pretty affordable. if you pay for the year up front. And you can go chase some clout, see how people, treat you differently when they think you're famous and you've got 100,000 people on live. Like,
hey, watch, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna pretend like I'm talking to Drake, and I'm gonna put it like
be some good content.
I'm gonna do it with my girlfriend. Because my girlfriend loves Drake.
That'd be some crazy.
And I'm going to just pull it up and be like, babe, Drake is on my live right now. What? Like, look, like, say what's up.
Say what's up, yo.
Oh, my gosh. Yo, that'd be hilarious. I'm definitely finna do that. I might drop that bread. Ethan, you might see my payment information come through. But I love that. Okay, so AI live streaming apps, check. Next topic is Apple Vision Pro. And is Apple Vision Pro a flop? First and foremost, I can be honest with you. All I know about Apple Vision Pro is that a few weeks ago, I guess they launched a few weeks ago. And the reason why I'm assuming they launched a few weeks ago is because I don't know, I've been seeing a shit ton of content of people like walking into stores with their Apple Vision Pro headsets on, typing or fake typing. I don't know.
Which it doesn't support, which is freaking hilarious. That's not how you use it.
Which is hilarious because that's going to go into what I think Apple did. Is I saw people on the subway doing that, like typing with their Apple Vision Pros on and shit, and like going through subway stations in New York or walking around LA or like at Erewhon with it on at like nice grocery stores in LA. So that's the only reason why I know that the product launched. Now, number two, what I think happened or what I think is happening is I think Apple is hiring influencers or like people to create content, fake content of them utilizing the product. Because I don't think that you can type. And I saw like 20 videos of people taking people like just, sitting at the subway stop doing that. So I think there got to be some type of marketing scheme going on behind closed doors, getting people to like pretend like they're utilizing the product and obsessed with it. Because that's how I became aware of it. I've seen a lot of viral videos about it. I didn't even hear from Apple that they dropped it. I just saw it on TikTok.
They did the event when they dropped the iPhone, the new iPhone. They did that event in September. So that's when it like was launched.
Mm-hmm.
Now you could pre-order like a couple weeks after that, and then they actually shipped it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why everybody got online and was doing it. Now this product is like $3,500, $3,500, I think, $3,000, something like that. It's expensive, right? Like that. The fact that you have one is just like it's the same as having a Cybertruck. Like it's just a clout type of thing. Right?
You have money or you're dumb. One of the two.
You're dumb. Either way, you have clout because you forked up,
$4,000 for a digital product. Yeah.
That is apparently subpar according to Zuckerberg. So that's like the whole thing about it. Now people are like creating content around it because it's like you want to show off your clout. You want to like, and you also want to troll people a little bit too, right? Because it's like they don't know,
and they're probably never going to know
how it actually works, right? So just making stupid stuff around it. Yeah. The same thing as the guy in the Tesla who's like typing with the Vision Pro on, the car is self-driving. It's just like easy memeable content for people that are just trying to flex online.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's that would be crazy, but to me, I just think like the product itself is so memeable, and like the fact that you can't really do that with a Meta Pro Quest because it's only a couple $100, but with the Vision Pro, it's like it's $4,000. Like
gotcha.
I gotta flex.
Right.
I gotta stun on people.
It's like somebody buying a G-Shock versus a Rolex. You buy a G-Shock, you're not really just gonna be out here flexing it.
No,
for real. You buy a Rolex, you're gonna be in your next photo this weekend, like
every
this.
photo. Yeah, every time the camera's on, you got your wrist
in your face. Like, brother, do you need to cough?
Yeah. You sick, bro? You got something
right?
on? Got an infection?
So what I think is funny is I went to watch that video that you tagged about Zuckerberg giving his opinion on Apple Vision Pro. Essentially, what Zuck says in this probably about 2-minute Instagram video that he published is that everything that Apple Vision Pro claimed it was going to be amazing at is subpar compared to Quest. So what he does admit is that the quality of the image when still is better, right? It's high quality. But he then goes on to say everything else is subpar. He's like, okay, but if you move, there's like a motion blur that we don't have with Quest. When it comes to this, then it's not as good as it's not as comfortable. He's like, I'm super surprised that a $4,000 product, could have so many subpar aspects to it compared to our product, which is actually affordable. And I was like, okay, Zuck, you just got on here to hate. Which
you got on here to roast.
And one thing I want to say about Zuck, which cracks me up, is Zuckerberg is. Have you ever watched his old clips from when he was 2021, and then watch him now? He definitely heavily gives robot now. But robot that's talking to a 5-year-old in a kindergartner class. Do you ever listen to how he talks?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Maybe this is
got a very monotone cadence.
Yes, but maybe it's something his communication coach told him it's better. People listen better. You got to speak in this tone or whatever. But I was watching because he published something talking about it's been 20 years since I launched this product, and then he has a clips of him at 21 or whatever, and I'm just he was so much more energetic. When I did that, and then I did this, and I was like, and then now he's like, and ladies, you must understand that the glasses, when you like to put these glasses on, the water of the ocean, and I'm like, bro, it is just a complete change.
If you sped it up to 1.25 or 1.5, it would sound more natural.
More natural and similar to what he sounded like back in the day. But right now, very monotone and very slow, so very robust.
He's on 0.75 speed.
Exactly. And I don't know if it's intentional. Somebody told him to do that. I mean, it is a lot easier to listen to him talk. I won't lie. But
I think he's trying to be very intentional about his words, so he doesn't get caught up saying something that gets him canceled. Context that gets him canceled. He's worth a lot.
Yeah, he'll be just fine.
He's worth $70 billion.
He will be fine. Zuck actually posted a video testing out the what was the product? Was it Quest? There was a product before Quest that they had that was interacting in the metaverse or whatever.
Yeah, they have two of them. But
yeah. Anyways, it was him showing examples of that product with my brother's music in the background. So shout out to that.
Sick.
Anyways, continue.
So everybody's kind of returning them because they're it's super clunky. It's not comfortable to wear. You got to have it plugged in. There's this wire. It's just I spent $3,000 on this thing. The battery life's 2 hours. It just sucks, right? It's not meeting people's expectations. So the whole thing is this product a flop? Did Apple, are they going to be the leader in the, spatial computing, as they're calling it, headgear space? Is that going to be a new lane that Apple is going to dominate in the future? As of right now, no.
I think that the product itself, the industry of spatial computing itself, has flopped in every product that's dropped from every company that's tried to launch a product in this space. I don't think Facebook's killing it. I don't think people are really buying or loving that product. It's a lot cheaper, so they might sell more units. But in terms of usability, if they could track how many people are using this, how many of those Quest products I just see sitting around people's houses for months, never touched again. They
use them an hour a week, maybe.
An hour a week or an hour a month. I think that whole space is overhyped. I think the only way we get there, number one, is if they turn everything that they're providing, all the little, attributes of these things in a literal Ray-Ban glass, the standard sunglasses.
Which they do have. Facebook does have with Meta. You haven't seen those?
The ones that, I know they're by Ray-Ban, but the by Ray-Ban ones I've seen are still big. I'm talking about straight up sunglasses.
Yeah, they're regular sunglasses. That's what they look like.
Okay, I ain't seen those yet.
I saw them at Target. Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. What do those do?
It's just basically ChatGPT style stuff. I don't think you can do full on spatial computing with it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'll have to check that out. Watch some clips on that. But I think that
on your eyes, man.
I really just think that whole space is trash. Not going anywhere. I might be completely wrong, but here's my bet for the next decade. Spatial computing, metaverse. What else do they call it? What are some other words for
VR,
whatever, anything. Everything in that space where you got to put glasses on your head and be in a different world or do any type of computing with glasses on your face, going to zero. Anyways.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah, I think Apple just shipped it and they were like, you know what? if we can make a product that people will buy, at least developers can work on it and figure out like what the use case is. Like, here's the API, here's the software developer kit, here's what you can freaking like touch and manipulate and, you know, build on top of this. We'll build the infrastructure. You know, you can build on top of this. We'll build roads so you can build cars and trucks and, you know, all the rest of that stuff, right? And then you guys, we can really figure out what the use case is for the spatial computing space.
I feel like that's probably the lane in general, is like, you know, how a lot of businesses say, like, don't like try to build like the I don't know what, the gold mine or something, like build the shovel that's used to get there or whatever. Yeah, some shit like that. I was like, I don't know how that whole space works in general, but if there is some like infrastructure to make that whole lane 10x better, I think companies should really be focused on creating that so that everyone else can build the product that goes on top of it, like the physical product that goes on top of it. Gonna make a lot more money. You can't get hated on. You build the infrastructure, you build it, they come, as they say. But anyways, I don't understand that space enough to talk on it, but I think it's going to zero.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it a lot, and I think about it as like, you know, it's going to be the advancement from phones. Like, we're going to have headsets on and eyewear. For me personally, I think it's going to be a combination of some sort of wrist device along with some sort of headpiece. So that you can interact with that. It'll pop up. Like, you can see a display. You kind of use this as like the screen per se. And then the vision goggles, whatever, amplify that for you. So you can like look at your wrist and just see like a whole screen, right? Or just use it by itself. But
I hear you. I think a lot more like, I guess, low level of that. I think of like a wristwatch, you know what I'm saying? And it projects your phone onto your hand. And then you just and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't even need to hold it at your ear. You probably got some AirPods for it, just and then just be done. Or if you need to send a quick text, just press this button, it pulls up a screen. Like kind of like holographed on your hand, essentially. That's like where I think something would work. I think people are looking for small, compact, easy, like doesn't require. I think people are going away from having heavy products in their pockets and on their heads and big ass backpacks, and more towards like, how can I fit as much things as possible into as a small and compartmentalized space as possible.
Just pop some contacts in and be done with it.
Exactly. Essentially, I think is, except I don't know how people are going to feel about that. I was like, they're going to be like,
better than Neuralink.
Also, we never talked about Neuralink in general. Yo,
that guy did it. That one guy
I don't even know what it does. All I know is they put a chip in somebody's brain and he safely recovered. That's all I know. That's all I got from here. But I need to look that up. Like,
got an AI chip in his
so what does that do? Can you just think about like?
Yeah, like it's just instant, right? You don't have to like do stuff. It'll just syncs. I think it syncs with devices too, right?
Hell no, I don't understand that shit. We're gonna have to Google that. Everyone who knows about Neuralink, drop a comment in the YouTube section. We need to.
We'll cover that next time.
Yeah, next time, because that's crazy. Anyways, where are we going from there? There was a few things that Zuck said that I kind of wanted to touch on. What you wrote down there. So price versus quality. First and foremost, I love the power of Apple's brand. So basically, Zuck was talking about, you know, like for such a powerful brand to launch a product that like this expensive, I would, you know, hope that there would be more
meet
expectations. But in my head, it's like, bruh, the fact that they can get mad people to purchase a product like this
for several grand
with Learn. Basically, what do they call it? A/B testing. It's basically like A/B testing, and they can do it, and they're not going to take a loss. Actually, they might take a loss on that.
They took pre-orders for it.
So they took pre-orders.
How many do we need to make?
Exactly. Number one, and then number two, they got sick profits and a sick savings, and then number three, like their brand power and the clout behind just owning one of these, or the desire to purchase is so heavy because of the brand. Because of the brand. Like, give me one negative thing that's come out about like the Apple brand that like has actually been like rough on Apple. I personally can't think of it.
Even the backlash that they do take is just like, doesn't even matter. Like they got backlash from the EU about like not having like open source, right? Mm-hmm. So you can't like sideload apps from other marketplaces in there.
But like nobody was talking about that. Everybody was talking about Facebook and data and like data privacy. Like everyone was talking about that. Everyone talks about suicide rates of children in Facebook. Like nobody's really
talking about the fact that Apple's gatekeeping the App Store and taking 30% of everything.
Right. Nobody's talking about how the iPhone was the oncoming of everything anyway. It's like their brand is so strong they can do whatever they want. They're gonna like stage a coup and take over America, and people are gonna be like, oh yeah, it's okay. Like people love Apple, man. Anyways, you were talking about how you were going to break down Tesla Roadsters and how like the benefit of charging a high price for a specific product and like how you can use the funds from that to fund something better. Alex Hormozy talks about this a lot as well too. Yeah. And it's something I've been thinking about in the personal training space, which I'll break down after you break down the Roadster.
So the idea is you build like a really like a top tier, top end model, right? You build like the best, most expensive thing that you can possibly think of that's just so high value that you can charge a lot of money for it. And that's what Elon did with the Tesla Roadster. He charged $250,000 for the Roadster and used that money to fund what is now known as Tesla, to make cars that you can buy for $50,000 that compete, that are great cars. Like aside from what everybody says, they're great cars that are built here in America. Right? They're American-made cars that you can get an American tax credit for. I think you can get up to, in Kansas at least, the state total plus the federal total comes out to like 10 grand, right? So you can get 10 grand off the purchase price of your car because it's electric and it's made here in America. And, he did that so that he had funds. You got 4 customers, boom, you made $1 million. All right, cool. We're making like 50% profit on all of that. Let's go use that money to go build the infrastructure to make more affordable cars. And then from there, we'll go from the top 1% and go down to the top 10%, then top 25%, then the middle 50%, right? Which is kind of where they're at right now. It's a great business model and a great way to build capital and have your earliest customers be your funding, right? You don't have to go take investment funding. You don't have to go take out a loan. You can just have really expensive customers and use that to grow the company. Now, does Apple need to do that? No, they don't, right? So that's what gives me the idea that they were like, we need to just push something out there and just ship something so that we're in the space. We'll leave this infrastructure out so the developers can build on top of it, and we'll figure it out. We kind of saw that with the Apple Watch, right? The Apple Watch came out in 2015. They had a lot of weird, clunky features on it. Like one of the main things was like a friends page. And it was like, oh, here are all your friends. You can just like instantly contact them. Or like you can send people like your heartbeat. Or like you can do forced touch and like have all these cool features. That stuff's not the main reason why people have Apple Watches now. Apple figured out that people were like really using this as a fitness device. They're like, okay, scrap all of that. We're going to go in on the heartbeat monitor. We're going to go in on the step counter. We're going to go in on the calorie tracking. And we're just going to go in all on fitness. And once they did that, the sales just went up and up and up. And now it's like 3 out of 4 people, I think, that buy an Apple Watch are like first-time Apple Watch buyers. Like they completely crushed it after they were like, they cut all the crap that they thought would work and really honed in on what people wanted. And I think you're going to see the same thing here with Vision Pro if we can really get user adoption. Me personally, I don't think the market's really ready for spatial computing and clunky headsets. I think there's a lot of eye strain and like we're just not there yet, right? People aren't accustomed to it. We think it's a little weird. We may see smaller products that kind of leap us there, especially with like GPT products and like integrating that with eyewear. But yeah, I'm super excited to see where this goes, right? I think the verdict here is that it's a failed instant success. Does that mean it's not going to come out on top eventually? No. But as of it stands right now, no, it failed as an instant success. And that's okay. The great things take time to build.
Right. It's the learning that happens from it. And when you long-term later down the line, you'll realize like an interview will come out in like 15 years that like the CEO of Apple is like, yeah, that was just we weren't trying to make no bread. That was just for us to learn.
Yeah.
And put something out there for us to test. Everyone thought we had failed, but really it was the building blocks for what we built massively in 2035. You know what I'm saying? So I think one thing that I want to talk about next time around that I think more people should look into is how Apple Watches destroyed a section of the watch industry.
Oh, the whole thing. Yeah.
Destroyed a whole entire section of the watch industry outside of companies like Rolex and what's that other one? AP and
Patek, yeah.
And then there's one other one. There's a few others that are really popular outside of like the luxury ones, like the mid-market and entry-level watch industry was just fucked by Apple Watches.
Yeah.
Something we should talk about at a later date. But, okay, so time travel. What was the time? Do you remember what the time travel, the future?
Oh, the time travel Apple Watch feature?
Do you remember what that was?
You know what Time Machine is? Mm-mm. Apple has this feature called Time Machine where you can like literally like, okay, today is February 16th. I want to see where my Mac was at on like January 2nd at like 2:47 p.m. And like you can just take it there and like that's the instance. Like it's really great if you do like high level production stuff. You just want to take your like computer back to a time where you're like, okay, before I did this project and completely fucked everything, let me take it back. So that was kind of the same concept just with your Apple Watch, like, but not like in a sense of like all your data, but more like, oh, let me take it back to like what the weather was or like what I was doing on my calendar. Kind of like a memories style thing.
Interesting.
Totally killed it. They don't use it anymore.
Interesting. Even more interesting. Imagine what would you do if you were like, I don't know, 30,000 feet in the air, sitting in a seat, and you're like eating one of those shitty ass microwavable, lunchable things that they give you in an airplane, and you're like listening to, Sam Parr and Sean Purry and your AirPods, and you're just like trying to vibe, and then boom, the door, the freaking half of the plane, freaking the whole entire window section of the plane just disappears.
Off with your AirPods, off with your half-baked meal.
Yeah.
Off with your backpack.
Yep.
Yeah.
iPhone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you weren't holding on to it, it's gone.
Yep. There was one found.
It's gone.
There was definitely one that flew out the window.
Found in the field, yeah.
Imagine that if that happened to you, though. Well, for some people in the world, it has happened to them. And more specifically, individuals who were flying on Boeing airplanes. Can you please break down what the fuck I'm talking about?
Yeah. So Boeing had a specific model of plane that was having some
737s.
737s that were having issues. I think it's even more specific than a 737. There's like a sub-model to that too. But the emergency door was having some issues with the bolts, I think.
Boeing 737 MAX 9.
Thank you, yeah. So they were having some issues with the bolts on there. And I guess this specific plane that had it ripped off had like gone into get repaired. And it was thought to be repaired. And you're 16,000 feet in the air, and that's not the case. And off you go. So, yeah, like there's just a whole thing going on with recalls on those specific models. They're going through, and like they're not allowed to fly until they get checked.
Yeah, and at that moment, I decided, I ain't getting in these goddamn airplanes. I'm doing Airbus only. Airbus only. Swear to God.
That was a Air Alaska plane that was flying out of Portland. I think they just like immediately turned around after that happened.
Yep. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't like flying, then maybe you should start taking Amtrak's. Maybe you should start driving. I know an individual who takes Amtrak's only across the country because he's fearful of flying, as am I after seeing all these Boeing things. So Airbus, I'm coming your way. And with that being said, we're getting ready to take flight out of this podcast for today. Is there anything specifically that you wanted to touch on before we land the plane and shut the shit down?
Beyonce has a Twitch account, guys. What's up?
Why? Beyonce also dropped a country album.
Yes. Yeah.
Beyonce is also a queen.
Yeah. Well, check it out. I mean, she's got a Twitch account. No content yet.
We're not going to talk about it today, but we should have broke down the Kanye West marketing setup, the $7 million ad.
Yeah.
How he, man.
Did you listen to the album?
I have not. Vultures.
So good. Yeah.
Yep.
I give it a solid 7. Yeah.
We're going to go listen to that. 5-star review. Subscribe on YouTube. share with a friend. We'll be back next week.